No, no, not for my phone. Hello.
Hello. Hello indeed. Hello, Steve. Good morning. Good afternoon.
Good evening.
Can you see me okay?
Yes, I can. Yes. Good evening. Good afternoon. Good
Wherever you are
morning.
in the world.
Yes.
Ah, good
Wherever
to
you
see you.
are, wherever you are in the world. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to be on an interview thing and people were all over the world. So I had to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Yeah.
Anyway, good afternoon, Ysanne, and I keep on forgetting. Our terrible name beats me all the time. But anyway, guys, um, please put your questions and anything you want to ask, basically, on the radio page so I can read it. I can't read them on here at the moment. StreamYard's been playing up for the last
Oh,
few weeks, so we've been having problems. But so can you tell everybody about yourself and what you do and everything? And by then, we should have some questions coming.
oh, I love questions. Yeah. Thank you. I love being on this show, Steve. You know that. And if I can help people at all in any way, in my small way, to how I've lived my life, how I've overcome obstacles, and my work, as you know, is an astrologer. Rather controversial subject, but a very beautiful, I think, quite sacred subject when interpreted wisely. So if I can help, that's wonderful. Any questions? And I suppose I could start off by saying that tonight, about 1:30 in the morning tonight, there's going to be a full moon, and it's what they call the super moon, full moon. And it's the last one of this year. It's absolutely huge. And if you look south, you'll see it there. And it's rising with later in the evening with the planets Saturn and Jupiter, which I interpret as the inner teachers, the part of us which can grow with wisdom and can communicate it and needs to learn our lessons, if you like. So there they are, shining in our faces, and it's an opportunity to look at how we're living our path. And I love mirrors in life, you know,
Yeah,
how they throw back to us aspects of ourselves. Uh, yeah, so
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
an astrologer and I've been doing this 40 odd years and I love my work. I love working with people. In a way, I didn't mind what I did as long as I was, and it sounds a bit saint like, and nowhere am I a saint. I just wanted to work with people, help
Yeah.
them have a purpose. And this kind of came my way, you know. Um, so over the years, I've honed my art and help people to understand themselves better and their pathway, if nothing else, but again, showing up this mirror so they see themselves more clearly and therefore they can make their own choices. And yeah, that journey, I'm now in my eighth
Brilliant.
decade. And,
Okay.
it's like I'm probably be doing this forever now. I think that's an interesting subject we could pursue, Steve, that how long do we work for and what does work mean? It's not just about income, is it?
No, no, it's not. Right, okay, got a question already from Paul. Paul says
Oh,
Paul is from Brighton and he says, "Hi, Steve. Can you tell me when Maxine was at school, um, has she always been interested in astrology?" Mm.
oh, okay. I just about heard that. You're getting a little bit breaking up in your voice. Hello, Paul.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah. Was I always interested in astrology? Was that the question when I was at school?
yeah. When you was yeah, yeah.
Well, when I was at school, there's a few things I wanted to be, like a lot of little girls. Well, firstly, wanted to be a nurse. Got over that one. Not got over it. There'd be people much better at that than I could be. I wanted to be an
Mhm.
actress. Mm. I wanted to be an explorer, and I did a lot of outdoor pursuits. And I was always interested in the tapestry overhead. So I had all these astronomy books. And I knew, bright though I am, I wasn't going to do that route as an astrophysicist or go up in space or anything. My family, my parents were born in 1915 and 1919. They were quite old parents when they had me. And they were very interested in the meaning of life, exploring that. Was there an afterlife? What was it all about? So there's a lot of books around in philosophy, religion, spiritual matters. And I knew I never wanted to follow a particular religion or guru, heaven forbid, for me, anything like that. I wanted to find my own answers, Paul. So basically, no, I didn't. But I was always interested in having an ego, like we all have. I certainly did. I knew my star sign, the month I was born in, which is Scorpio. I didn't realize that the moon, the planets are in different signs of the zodiac when we're born, and they represent, if you like, these characters that live within us and our talents and our strengths. And this links in very much with our genetics, our family line as well. So in my 20s, I worked with color therapy. I really studied many religions, philosophies, always believed in an afterlife, a God, if you like, a universal spirit. And I came across people, oddly enough, quite left hemisphere brain people, scientist type, who really were into astrology in the 70s. And they said, well, if you want to do it, Ysanne, you're going to have to do all the maths. There's no computer program for it. And this was a girl who absolutely was a dunce at school, Paul, absolutely a dunce. Dreadful teachers, I have to say. That makes the difference. And so I knuckled down and I got the books. I did a training course. I realized how complicated it was, did a counseling course and did all the logs and maths so I could calculate a person's birth chart based on that moment of birth. And there's about 2,000 variables in that map of time, and how to interpret it psychologically and the cycles of troughs and peaks in one's life and how to cooperate with them, which has got nothing to do with fate. So I grew into it. So at the great age of 27, I decided I didn't want to be employed anymore. And I was going to be self-employed, at least for a year or so. So I took it up, registered, and I've loved it ever since. So in answer to your question, at school, I always wanted to see what was beyond, why. And people didn't like me asking why. They really didn't. That curiosity really ran me. And I could have been anything I would have moved into to help people. But I love maps. That's the other thing. I loved maps, outdoor maps, camping, orienteering, climbing. I loved maps. And really, astronomy is the map of the heavens. Like I just mentioned, there's a full moon at, I think it's 1:30 tonight. And the planets Jupiter and Saturn, the big giants, are very close to it. And that's, to me, it's riveting. Now, of course, I think people do a lot more courses in astrology. They're getting into it quite young. I've had clients of 17, 18 who are learning it. But in my day, it wasn't so much around.
Gosh.
There you go.
Well
That's what I can answer to
well
that.
done. Trevor here from Isle of Wight. Hello.
Hello.
Trevor. Trevor is saying, what can color therapy treat?
So I missed that, Steve. You're breaking up. What kind of?
Sorry, what can color therapy treat?
Oh, color therapy. I think color, I get that. Color, like astrology, is a language. I do believe it is. Colors talk to us. We all know what we like, what we don't like. And there is a psychology of color. So, and with therapy, the therapy side of it, when I trained at it when I was 26 at a college in Gloucestershire, I was understanding how colored lights, visualization with color, things of that kind can have an impact on the body. So yes, I mean, if you're surrounded by a lot of red, your heartbeat goes up. Fast food restaurants have red and orange to make you to eat fast and get out. Yeah. So red is a color for immediacy, decision making. So you might say the therapy side of it. Well, I think if we understand it psychologically, then that is a kind of therapy. Blue, conversely, blue relaxes us. It helps us to breathe out. And blue, time is very relative, as we know. But blue makes us feel that time is slower. And red, it's speeding up, it's faster. So blue is really good for letting go, for going to sleep, for feeling safe, if you like. It's comfortable. And orange, a lot of people don't like orange. It's the character, I would call it, of the playing child, the a part of us that wants to be more about us, that wants to have fun, that wants to be creative, that's social. And orange is a really good color they found in research that helps the calcium absorption in the body, digestion, and a great color to have around when you're eating with people, the social aspect. So I've been part of experiments, we call it that, research where with blindfolded with coloured lights, things attached to electrodes to my body, it didn't hurt, and to see what it did to my physiological system. And it really did work. And I wouldn't have known what the colours were. So I think it's a fascinating area. And it's something, Trevor, we can all use in our day-to-day lives. Just because you don't like a colour, maybe that's telling you something. Try to integrate it a little bit in your life.
Brilliant.
Because then you start to get it. It's like the rainbow, it's a messenger. And in mythology, Iris was the goddess of the messengers and the messenger. And it really gives us, and in the Bible, the rainbow was a symbol, wasn't it, of promise after the flood and this kind of thing. So I feel we can use colour very much, and be aware what you use in your day-to-day life. Are you getting stuck on a colour? And then all of a sudden you think, oh, I'm tired of that. I want another colour. So if you've got a wardrobe of different colours, don't just put your clothes out the night before. Does anybody do that anymore? Just feel spontaneously in the morning what colour you want to wear. It makes a huge difference. And of course, some of us wear some colours better than other people. That's not the point. So visualising with colour, red to get your courage and decision making up, blue to relax, good colour to go to sleep to, yellow for day-to-day change, activating the mind, but not so good overdone for the nervous system, orange for having fun, and green for restoring yourself when you've been through stress or trauma. Green is really good for getting that balance, sitting on the fence more.
Is that for depression too?
Depression. When people feel depressed, they often see things as grey, literally sometimes. And I think not forcing, but encouraging oneself to bring colour in a little bit. It can be gentle colours like peach rather than bright orange. Sky blue. You know, people like myself who suffer from seasonal affective disorder.
Right,
Sad.
okay.
And at the moment, although it's very hot, there's blue skies. I'm a happy bunny, you know. And that's why they produce these lamps, you know, that blue light to help people to feel better when they are low, when the skies are grey. But no, I think with depression, using colour can feel a bit painful because we don't want the brightness, but it's very, very helpful. Yeah.
Brilliant. Sheila wants to know. Hello, Sheila.
Hello, Sheila.
What colour helps with anxiety?
Good question, like that. I think it's like anything. You can't just take one thing alone, and anything overdone can almost create the opposite. For example, people use the colour pink in prisons to calm prisoners down. They did a whole research on that, and it made people kinder and gentler. But when they kept looking at it, it turned the other way. So you need to use it in small doses. But the colour for anxiety would be blue, a soft blue, even a pale blue. It makes people feel safer. Remember, blue calms down the blood, the breathing rate, the heartbeat, which with anxiety does increase, and lowers the blood pressure where necessary. So blues can be very, very useful to do that. And after a while, you may get the blues. You might want to bring in the opposite colour, a shade of orange, just to counterbalance it. And you can do that with a lovely drinking glass, coloured glass, and drinking water out of it, which has been in the sunlight.
So you can mix. Sorry, say it again. Mix and match your colours, then, can you?
Yeah, I think anything goes to the other extreme if you use too much of it. So blue and orange are complementary colours. Red and turquoise are complementary colours. Orange and blue are complementary. Purple and yellow are complementary. Turquoise is a colour we can all wear. Turquoise. And it's a mixture of blue and green. And because blue is very caring, it makes you want to help and to be of service. That's why a lot of uniforms are blue, you know, it used to be with nurses and other industries. And I think that using a colour in a certain way and its opposite colour brings things into balance. And turquoise definitely doesn't stop you caring, but it makes you selective what you let in. And we have a physical immune system, don't we? We also have an emotional one, even a mental one. And some of us aren't very good at boundaries. And what turquoise does is to help you to be more selective, to strengthen your own immune system and be more selective and discerning of what you let in. So I think turquoise is a very beautiful colour to have around us and to use. And that can also help with anxiety as well and
Right. Okay.
depression.
Brilliant.
Yeah, fascinating
Next question,
subject.
It is, isn't it? I'd love to get into this more, honestly.
So we can.
Um, what is color therapy and how does it work? Well, you already told me about that. The How do you use flower color therapy to boost your mood? Good question.
The flower colour therapy.
Yeah,
Flowers.
yeah,
Flowers. Well,
yeah.
again, it's using
Flower
it's
color. Yeah,
yeah. Well, it's the same thing. Whatever you can find with a color can help you. I mean, stained glass, drinking vessels, um, maybe wearing a color you don't overlay, but underneath, because any color close to the skin, and I have to say natural fiber like silk, cotton, yeah, maybe viscose up to a point because it's wood pulp, wool. Um, affects the body more. Synthetic fibers are very, very bad for the skin and how we breathe. But unfortunately, as we know, particularly cheaper clothes are all synthetic fibers. So yes, using flowers, perfect. And you may find when you go out that you just want to have a colour. Think, oh, those orange tulips talk to me, or those blue gentians, or red rose, or yellow. And you think, oh, that's interesting. Why am I drawn to that? And when you're taking flowers to someone, you may feel yourself instinctively going to a colour. When you give them, they say, oh, that was just the colour I needed. And you haven't even realised it. Does that help?
yeah, brilliant. Thank you. Yeah.
Good. Good
How
so
does
far.
color therapy help? How does color therapy help? Sorry,
It's all right.
I'm trying to get the question. It's running down quick. But I've got a screen in front of me, and all the questions are on there, and they're just
Okay, I'll be
running
quick
down.
with my
How can
answers.
how can color therapy help your well-being?
Well, really, from the things I've said, it can help you physically with an ailment. It doesn't take the place of maybe orthodox medicine. It's complementary. Yes. It can run alongside. So it can help you with physical problems. It can certainly help you very much with emotional and mental issues. Oh. um, it can help you making decisions. It can help you just to relax. If you want to relax and calm yourself down, you don't want a lot of red around you or orange or yellow. It activates. They're the warm colors, the active colors. You want the cooler side of the spectrum, the blues, the greens. I found myself instinctively wanting to wear green when maybe I've been through something and I just feel exhausted, and
Yeah,
green makes you stop, almost not, doesn't stop you thinking, but it makes you sit more on the fence. You don't want to give or receive. You just want to be, and it restores like nature does. Because actually, nature has a lot of green. It has a lot of shades of green. So when you have it in decor, it can be rather hard because you're only using one shade of it usually. Yeah.
yeah.
But I think you'll find you're drawn to green for well-being, for restoration, rest. And we all need that, particularly in these times. What I would also like to say is that people do like to wear black because they think it makes them look slimmer. Subconsciously, they think it makes them more invisible or mysterious. Black actually drains. It absorbs everything.
Oh, I
Absorbs
don't like
everything.
wearing black.
You find people in hot countries have buildings which are white. It reflects off the heat, and you find you're drawn to black just to hide. And all you're doing is absorbing everything around you. Yeah. So a color better than that, if you like, is indigo, which is that really deep purpley red, almost black. It's beautiful indigo. Oh, so that's a really good choice, indigo. And purple is a good color when you want to have a bit more dignity. If you're going into a big building, like you're going for a job or you're going to hospital, and you think, oh, who am I? You just feel like a number. Purple makes you feel you've got some dignity.
Yeah.
Too much of it can make you a little bit aloof. People find you a bit standoffish, but some of it's great. We could jot all this down another time. I've got a
Yeah,
little
it'd be
booklet
brilliant.
on it.
Really
I
good.
show colours.
That would be really interesting.
Wouldn't it? Yeah. So I think we can actually use colour. Perhaps we can't all be acupuncturists or doctors or astrologers or whatever, but we can work with colour to help ourselves. And please trust your vibes, trust your instinct about what you're drawn to, and you just know that feels right.
Yeah, yeah.
And black and white
Um,
aren't colours. Black and white aren't colours. They're extremes. They've put people in all white rooms. These are research things again, all white. And they found after a while their voice box is fine, but they can't communicate. It silences them.
yeah,
Oh, isn't that
yeah,
lovely?
yeah. This,
Sorry, I'm
this,
getting. Hello,
yeah,
you.
this,
You've made my
this,
day.
yeah, yeah. This is not my dog. Don't worry.
Well, I'm not worried. I think it's lovely.
It's Lynn's dog. It's Lynn. Anyway, so what else we got here? I'm about yellow. Is
Yeah.
yellow a nice color?
Well, don't forget we've got shades of yellow. Anything soft and light is gentler, and anything really bright is obviously stronger. Yellow, I think I mentioned, it really activates the nervous system. It's a good colour for studying, particularly with some brown around. They talk about a brown study. Well, brown helps you to concentrate, to focus. Yellow helps you to get the left hemisphere brain going. It helps with being more flexible and minor change. It can create overdone a bit of violence. They've done research of putting kids in rooms which are yellow, and they get more breaking up their toys and things, and in a blue room. And they've done a lot of research into this. A lot of people don't like yellow because it's about freedom. It's about also independence. If you put yellow paint on paper, Steve, you
Yeah.
find it darkens in the center, which psychologically tells us we need to have a strong center, and then we ray out from it, just a bit like the sun. Whereas you put blue paint on paper, it darkens around the edges, which gives that protection, that sense of
Ah,
security. Very interesting. So yellow, don't overdo it. It's my favorite color. I adore yellow. And obviously in nature, um, just for communication. And if I'm giving a talk and I'm nervous about it, I would go for yellow to wear, or even very bright electric blue. You know that cobalt blue color?
yeah,
Very, very
yeah,
bright.
yeah.
And that helps the throat area to communicate.
Brilliant. Really good.
And I've done a lot of research into it. That was my study before I studied astrology and what I intended to do, but life had other plans. And I
Yeah,
do
sorry.
integrate them.
Yeah, sorry about the color questions today.
Oh, no, I'm
Um,
loving it. I'm loving it. We've talked about astrology a lot. So,
Rosemary, Rosemary wants to know, how do I get involved in color therapy?
oh my goodness. Rosemary, I've lost touch. Way back in the 70s, I trained at a color college called Hygeia, who was the goddess of healing in Greece. Hygeia College of Color Therapy with a pioneer, and he was a pioneer, called Theo Gimbel, who was German. There's even an international association. I think it might be wise to Google it to find out and feel what talks to you. There's a lot of work done with what colours you should wear, the season you belong to. That's something different. I don't know offhand, but I can check it out. And Steve, if I was to put up some information on it for you, could you relay that on to
Yeah,
Rosemary?
yeah, I will definitely do that. Definitely.
I've lost touch with that. I do it my way, as I do most of the things in my life. I've had my background and I integrate it with many other things. But there are colour courses. Like anything, they're very expensive. Just be wise, be discerning about what feels right for you. Even if you get a qualification, I'm not sure it'll get you a job. But there is a big difference between interiors, fashion, what makes you look good, and actual colour healing. Yeah.
Brilliant.
And there
Thank
are
you.
lovely books out there. I will give you a couple of titles, Steve, of books I recommend on colour, because this lady could actually perhaps look at those.
Yeah, but also about your book too.
Oh, my book.
'Cause yeah, you got a book, ain't you? And
I have. Yeah, I have called The Time Catcher, and I need to do a reprint. I must do that in the next month. And it's all about timing for the everyday person and how our
yeah,
bodies are linked to a timing in nature and music and dance and even the atomic world, and I make it really simple for the everyday person. It's not about star signs. It's very much about the movement of the planets, their cycles, and how, particularly with the moon, remember there's a full moon in the early hours of this morning coming up, and full moons tend to bring things to a head. They really do. You feel there's more weight on the body, a little bit more fluid. People's emotions get higher. The tides are higher. It's a time of seeing what comes into your awareness. It's bright. What do you need to look at in your life now? It's quite nice to look at that.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for coming on today. Love having you on. You know that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. And thank you, listeners, watchers. And I hope I've been able to help in a small way. Bye for now.
You have. Thank you so much. Thank you.